All right, so let's dive in. We are hearing more evidence from Washington businesses, some leaving the state, expanding outside the state, or at least relocating their personal residence because of mounting taxes and regulations. And some of those business leaders were featured last Thursday, July the 16th, at the Association of Washington Business Economic Future Solutions Summit. That's a mouthful. It was held at this Hilton at SeaTac, and we were there to cover it. There was a panel discussion that was titled Economic Reality Check, and it featured some of these business executives. You're going to hear from them just momentarily here. One of them is Nate Dick. He is the vice president of TigerStop. They're located in Vancouver. The company manufactures automated stop gauges and what they call material pusher systems that attach to existing machinery. I got on their website and learned a lot more about what they do. But he told the audience that the business climate is currently the most challenging they have encountered in more than 3 decades since their business launched. And here is a clip from some of the comments from Nate Dick with TigerStop.
So what we're seeing right now is rising costs kind of across the board. In our 32 years in business, we've never seen all of our costs rising together and this aggressively. And so what we're seeing is I'm seeing other businesses, vendors of ours, kind of just getting tired and throwing in the towel. I'm seeing business owners either move out of the state, shut down their business, or sell to multinational corporations or venture capital. And I think that that's harmful not just to our economy, but also to our local communities, because these are business leaders who live in their community. And so these are the people who are sponsoring Little League teams and local events through the Chamber of Commerce. And when those people throw in the towel or quit or get bought out, not only is that capital leaving the state, but that's also local leadership that is no longer in that community.
And now Mike Senske, who is president and CEO of Pearson Packaging. And he told the crowd gathered at that AWB summit last week that mounting taxes and the pending income tax are among the greatest reasons for their decision to expand into Idaho. Now, they're located in Spokane, so it makes a little bit more, I guess, practical sense for them to expand just across the state line into Idaho. By the way, Pearson Packaging, if you're not familiar, they design, engineer, and build automated end of line packaging machinery. So Mike Senske started out initially on that stage last week saying the income tax, we believe, some have characterized that as being like the final straw for them because of all the other taxes, whether it's B&O taxes, property taxes, other anti-business taxes in the state of Washington. But he said he believes actually the fact that Washington Democrats pushed through the 9.9% millionaires tax is really just evidence of what else is to come. I found that interesting. I hadn't heard that argument made by many others. So here again is Mike Senske, president and CEO of Pearson Packaging.
We're moving to an environment that has a 5.395% income tax. That's okay because, services require tax dollars, and we understand that. But the state of Washington went from 0 to 9.9 in a very short period of time. And if that still stands up, and the concern we have is as the legislature kind of continues, tilting in the direction that it is as a reaction to what's going on in the federal government, we're really concerned that that's going to continue because that money's spent, that it's going to get worse and worse. And so we see that as the beginning, not the end. For us, things like the estate tax, we're a pass-through entity. The estate tax, there's a lot of machinations that we go through to protect that. We do not want to find the death of a shareholder driving the liquidation of the company to essentially pay an estate tax that was thrust upon us, with little to no notice, on top of what we were planning for at the federal government level, because the person who's going to buy Pearson packaging systems is not going to be engaging in stakeholder capitalism, and we can probably talk about that later. They're going to be engaged in shareholder-based capitalism, which is an entirely different animal. Those profits are going to be swept out of the state of Washington to Chicago, to New York, to LA. It's those types of things that harm what I would say small to medium-sized businesses that are really trying to grow, that want to retain their independence, their private ownership, and their mission and purpose-driven reason for really, being an employer. And so those are some of the reasons. So I would say it's that lack of predictability. There's a lot of different things and again, it's the predicted unpredictability, right, that we think we're going to see going forward, and we've started that process to move as a result of it.
Now, as previously reported by the Center Square, the Association of Washington Business does their employer surveys. They survey their members, and it was back in May that AWB produced a survey from more than 400 of their members who participated, finding that 24% as of May were considering moving their business out of the state of Washington, nearly triple what AWB had found 16 months prior in their winter 2025 survey of members. So that is a dramatic increase in members, in business members for AWBB that say, we may well be looking at the exit doors. That same survey found 18% saying they were developing a relocation plan, and 7% have already secured a location outside the state of Washington. So the number of business leaders looking at moving their personal residence was also one of the survey questions in that spring survey of AW members, and that was 55%. 55% of their members looking at relocating a personal residence, even if they're going to leave their, business location and employees and continue operations inside the state of Washington. Obviously, if they want to relocate outside their personal residence, the state of Washington, it would be to avoid the pending income tax, potential estate taxes, that sort of a thing, capital gains taxes. So that's interesting, and I encourage you to check out our Center Square Washington page for a lot more from that AWB, that little snippet from that conference last week, and more members who were on that stage, were business members that were on that stage, are included in my article today.